Well, hello YouTube. Welcome back to Bison Workshop. I'm Bob. Today I have been all day since I got up working on the four-wheeler that was given to me by Jim. It needed bearings on the right side. I never can figure out which one it is, either the right or the left, because it just depends on which way you're looking at it. If you're looking at it from the front of the vehicle, right is right, left is left. But if you're looking at it sitting on a seat, left is left, or right is right, left is left. So I think they come up with that by sitting on a seat as to what side it is. But anyway, passenger side. Needed a bearing, or two bearings, and I had bought a set of bearings and ball joints for the four-wheel drive, and it just so happened that all them parts fit the other one perfect. So now the new four-wheeler is getting everything new. And I'm even making new parts for it. I'll show you what we got here. What we have here is rotor covers, or shields. And this one, as you can see, has got a broken ear off of it. This one was okay, but I want them to match. So I went and made a new set out of aluminum. Aluminum will draw the heat better anyway. This is really thin, and I was worried about clearance, but I had plenty of clearance. So I just made a new set by using one of these as a pattern. And there's a lot of drilling, but it wasn't bad at all. So then I'll show you the left side, or I'm sorry, right side. Right here is the left side. We got it apart, got the spindle out, got the shims out, got the parts out laying there on the ground, and here is the new one. Brand new ball joints and brand new bearings, and we got a brand new set of brakes to go on it. So the only thing that wasn't replaced was the bushings, and there ain't a thing wrong with them bushings. Yes, they need to be wallered out with a drill bit that fits it, just to get some of the rust out of it. I just got to find the right bit. But it's ready to go on. The aluminum has plenty of clearance for the bolt, so that'll work. And that just happens to be Jim that just texted me. So I'm just showing some of the progress on the four-wheeler. I'm probably going to have to make the two front shields that goes on the front of the bottom A-frame, or control arm, I think that's what that's called. On the four-wheel drive, it's got one on the left side, or right side, that if you're looking at the front, that says 4x4 on it. It's plastic, and I'm going to make a set for this, but I'm going to make mine out of tread aluminum. May even make it out of this same aluminum here. I have some of it left here. So it's a slow process because it's so much cleaning to do. With a pocket knife, a screwdriver, a scraper, gas, wire wheel, you name it. Then once you get all that done, the pleasure part is putting it back together. The one ball joint's a little difficult to get in, but I've got it down to a science. I use my vise to get it all the way into where it's flat against the one side, and then once I get it that far, then I'll just rest it between the jaws and use the hammer and a socket that fits it perfect and just drive it on home. But yeah, it's going to look like, it's going to be a nice looking ride. Yep, that was Jim. I was showing him the pictures of what I did. He mentioned on my last video, be careful not to make it too nice, I might want to buy it back. I'm sorry, man, this thing goes nowhere. If I get rid of anything, it would be the four-wheel drive first, but I don't really want to get rid of that simply because I want to fix them both up, and that way I have something that people can ride when they come to hunt, or my son comes, or Randall comes, then they got something to ride and they ain't got to transport theirs. So we'll have a four-wheel drive one and a two-wheel drive one. I just don't know when I'll have that four-wheel drive. I may end up having to make my drive shaft for it by using the drive shaft that I had, just cut it in half and put a steel pipe or steel stock in it, and drill the end of the stock for them ends to go into, and then weld them. That ought to work. So we'll see. I just got to find out what the measurement is on it from tip to tip. Once I find out the measurement from tip to tip, then I'll know exactly where I got to put it. And then the only thing I have to do is get one more universal joint and one more yoke. Or no, two yokes. The ones for the drive shaft. So, we'll show you the parts after we get them cleaned up and ready to get back together, and we might show putting it together, but it means going up there, upstairs and downstairs to the press, and I don't know, we might just show a video after it's complete. The lazy way. So stay tuned. Alright guys, now we've got this thing painted up, cleaned up. I've already put the ball joint in. Basically I just want to show how to put the bearings in. The first thing you want to do is you want to steel wool the inside of that, because you got overspray in there and you want it to be as smooth as possible. So we'll just clean that out with the steel wool a little bit till it feels smooth. Same on the back side. Alright, so now we've got that cleaned out. So now what we do is we take our bearing and tap it down in there. And I'm going to take it to the vise. Alright, so we've got the back bearing in, and I used a big socket to do that fits down in there. And then we have to put a spacer in it before we put the other one in. You got two spacers. You got a thin one and you got a wide one. The wide one goes in the other side, and what that does is it keeps it separated. So now we'll go ahead and put this in. And we'll take it over there to the vise and do the same thing. So now we've got our bearings in here. So the next thing we need to do is stick your spindle in. Well, I'm sorry. Put your seal in the back side. And they just push in. And you just want them flat. Alright, then we'll go ahead and put our spindle in. And you turn it as you're putting it in the seal, because otherwise it'll fold the seal in. Alright, then we got this piece that goes in, the thin one, and then we've got another seal. Alright, so then something don't look right here. That was sticking out too far. There we go. Alright, so now we'll stick this on the rotor assembly and the hub. And this here goes up against that shallow washer. And then we'll put this washer back on it. Tighten this back down. And there is two flat sides on the back side of this. And I used the vise to grab a hold of that in order to tighten that nut down. So we'll go ahead and do that. Alright, so now we've got this all together. That's the seal squeaking. So now we'll go ahead and put the control arms on it. So that we know that this one goes to the bottom and all your things go towards the top. So we'll hook that in just like that. Find a wrench. Alright, we got that one. Let's see if we can get to the next one. Yeah, there we go. So now we bend that over. Clip it. And then clip the other piece. Alright. So then we go ahead and turn it over. Now this is the bottom. And we'll go ahead and put the top in. These are 17 millimeter. Let's see, where's the hole? Alright, we got the next one in. Bend that up. tap it down, clip it, and that is done. So now all we're going to do is put it back in. But you know what I did? I forgot to put my rotor plate or shield on it. So now we're going to take it back apart. So there you have a little information on how to put that hub assembly together and kind of show off my work. I did a lot of wire wheeling and scraping with a pocket knife and screwdriver or scraper and everything else, and wire wheel, and made the aluminum backing plates for the rotors to protect them, and it's out of aluminum. And if anybody wants me to make them a set, send me your plate aluminum and send me your backing plate and I'll duplicate it for you. But I just wanted to show you guys how to put that hub assembly together, and when you do, make sure you put anti-seize on all your bushing bolts, because they will seize up in that rubber and they're not easy to get out. So don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. If you want to help the shop out, which would greatly be appreciated, you can do so with PayPal at bisonworkshop@gmail.com. Thank you very much for your time. You guys have a good one. Later.